Hello everyone! With the Star Wars The Old Republic Onslaught expansion coming out on October 22nd, I wanted to make a quick guide about how you could spend your currencies before the expansion launches. These types of endgame currencies will be going away in the expansion. Unassembled components, command tokens, masterwork crystals, monumental crystals, and Alliance recon data. The developers have said that these different types of currencies will turn into credits once the expansion launches, but it will probably be a low conversion rate, so it's probably better to spend them, though we don't have a lot of confirmation on that. So the first currency I'm going to talk about is the Command Tokens. These are a goldish currency that's legacy bound, and you use it to buy endgame armor. However, with a whole new tier of gear coming out in the expansion, not to mention many players having maxed out their command boost token limit, let's talk about what we should spend them on before the expansion launches. The first thing I'm going to recommend is to spend your command tokens in the supplies section of the fleet on tier 1 armor that you like the look of. So these armors are still going to be available in the expansion, but they're very expensive. You can buy them with the new currency called tech fragments, but they cost just as much as all the other types of armors that way, so it's way better to get them with command tokens if you like the look of them. There's 4 different looks from the 4 different class vendors in the supplies section of the fleet that you can get, and they're very cheap. They range between about 49 command tokens to about 70 command tokens, so you could probably afford the whole set if you wanted it. Don't forget, command tokens are legacy bound, but these armors are not, so just jump over to the character you want to have it on for fashion purposes. If you're looking to do something more useful with your command tokens, buy the command boosts that are also available from a droid in the supplies section of the fleet. There's 2 different command boosts available on the current server. The first one costs 44 command tokens and 10,000 credits for a 25% boost for 2 hours. Or the purple version, the superior command boost, that gives you a 100% boost for 2 hours, but it costs 190 command tokens and 50,000 credits. Now, you may have heard that the Galactic Command System is going away in the expansion. This is true, sort of. It's getting converted to something called the Renowned system that works a bit differently. The good news is that the developers have said the Command Boost and the Superior Command Boost will be transferred to Renowned Boost in the server. So if you're looking for something useful to do with your command tokens, just buy a ton of these legacy-bound command boosts, and you'll be able to use them on the Renowned system in 6.0 during the expansion. Unfortunately, that's about all you can do with your command tokens. Many players are just filling up their inventories with those command boosts to ready for the expansion. So you can do this until October 21st, because on October 22nd is when these will go away from the vendor, and you'll be able to use them as renown boosts in the expansion. So let's talk about the other main currency that's going away, unassembled components. These are also used to buy endgame armor and are usually earned through PvP, disintegrating armors in the Galactic Command System, or through more difficult operations. Unassembled components are also legacy bound, but they're considered an item, so you may have to go hop around your different characters to merge all your different piles of unassembled components together in your legacy bank. So just like before, the first thing I'm going to suggest is to buy fashion options with your unassembled components. If you like any of the tier 2 armors, you can buy directly with unassembled components in the supplies section of the fleet. These are called the Eternal Command MK15 items, and they have a whitish beigeish color, but they are the same look as those command tokens. If you're able to upgrade any of your armor, there's some additional fashion options available. Once you get to tier 3 for the unassembled components upgrades, there is a brand new design. The armors are kind of brownish black. And then if you upgrade all the way to tier 4, there's a really nice looking gold, silver, black color scheme. So here's a really interesting suggestion that I only saw recently with what to do with your unassembled components that is very cool. So there's a quest giver on Osis. I think you have to be level 70 to talk to him, but I think that's the only requirement. So this vendor, they're actually an NPC, a Rhodian with a quest symbol over their head. They are available on Osis, and they're usually near where you load in. On the Republic side, they're near the crates, just to the left of where you load in. On Imperial side, you have to go down a couple levels, I think. They will trade you 500 unassembled components for 1 masterwork crystal. They will only do this once per week, however. On the same character, if you try and trade them a second time, they will up the price to 1,000 unassembled components for 1 crystal. This was made to slow down characters from gearing up really fast, but in this case, we actually can go on different characters to get that special low price of 500 unassembled components for one Masterwork crystal. So it's not an account-wide lock, it's just per character. Once you have Masterwork crystals, the really cool thing you can do with them is buy decorations from the Osis decorations vendor. This is near the Reputation vendors. I think he's a little droid, and he sells very special, unique, hard to get decorations for Masterwork crystals, which is very cool. So what I recommend doing is going to check out that vendor, see what the decorations you like, and then find out how many Masterwork crystals you're going to need. So for example, some of the decorations only cost one Masterwork crystal, and maybe you want to buy 2 of those. You can go on 2 different characters, turn in your unassembled components at the low price of 500, and then buy one of those decorations on each of your character. Very simple. These decorations cost different kind of odd combinations of Masterwork crystals, monumental crystals, and unassembled components, so that's why I recommend checking out the droid vendor first and then figuring out what you need to exchange afterwards. Also be aware that if you try and buy something, change your mind, sell it back to the vendor, you won't get your crystals or unassembled components back. You just sell it back for credits. Ouch. So pick very wisely. If you've got the passion for fashion, you can also spend your Masterwork crystals on the experimental Osis armor. This is meant to be really good endgame armor for the current expansion. But these will also still be available in the 6.0 expansion. They're just very expensive. So the version you can find on the current server on Osis is kind of blue and black. The version on the public test server that we saw was a beige and black version, but the same style. That goes the same for the Masterwork Ancient Osis armor. That is also on the public test server, but once again, it's very, very expensive. And I think this one is beige and white on the current server, and the version you get from the vendors on the public test server were red and black. So for all I know, these different decorations might be very, very cheap and inexpensive on the expansion server. No idea, we haven't been able to find anything out yet. The last type of currency I want to talk about is the Alliance Recon Data currency. As far as I can tell, this is a currency you only earn from the Crisis on Umbara Flashpoint, and you can turn in for some cool rewards. Like if you currently get 60 of this currency, then you can buy the Umbara Train Stronghold. And there's also a cool set of armor, a mount, and I think you can get some biochem stuff. Probably won't be useful for the expansion though. I didn't check out the Stronghold price, but I do remember that when the public test server was still live, the different pieces of this cool armor cost a lot more, like they were over 1 million credits per piece. So if you happen to have any Alliance Recon data, and you also like the Umbara Guardian set, you might want to go buy it now so you have to pay less credits when the expansion comes out. I think that's it. If you have any other tips, please feel free to post them in the comments below. Don't forget, the expansion is coming out October 22nd, so the last day you'll have to do any of these things is October 21st, and that is a Monday. See you guys in the expansion, and I hope it's fun. See you later!